Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Bonsai, Dr. Bonsai. Meme Emporium. Today I have the Op 4, if you will, for the last box that I just reviewed, the Scipio Africanus' Roman army. This is the Hannibal's Carthaginian army. Now, I knew nothing about Carthage when I started this journey into looking into this time period, looking at these miniatures. I was like, what the hell? Why is this? Why does it look like there's people from everywhere but Carthage? Well, because that's the way their armies were organized. Is they were mercenary in nature, with kind of a hardcore of local mercenaries or Greek mercenaries that they used to hide and fight and train their fight with and train their local citizens. And then you have basically anybody and everybody that they could beg, borrow, and pay off to join. So really fascinating. As you can see, you get a bunch of individual and mounted commanders. Then you have war elephants, which I really want to look at. Then you have Libyan heavy infantry, basically these guys that are armed like your typical Greek hoplite, or hoplite, which is, a big huge round shield, big huge sharp spear, armor, and they fight in like a phalanx type formation. And then you have Spanish scutari, which are people from the Iberian Peninsula that have the big, huge, scutum style shield, and equipped with a gladius, or what would be identified as the gladius, because the Romans actually stole that design for their own forces and started using that en masse. And then you have people from Gaul. You have people from you have Celt-Iberian people. You have people from Italy. You've got Numidians, Balearic skirmishers, Balearic slingers, Ligurian light infantry, Spanish Citrati infantry. Just a huge amount of stuff. So we're going to flip this over. Okay, so the first thing we're greeted with is kind of the assembly guide, and I'm going to again lower this down so we can see what we're talking about. So you get your assembly guide, your basic assembly guide, and then you have block colors, again using Army Painter. Not a big fan of Army Painter. Interestingly, the colors that they went with for their army, it seems like the research that I've done is that they mostly use red, white, and black shields, which I think would be much more striking than kind of this lavender royal purple that they're going with. And then you have kind of the other guys in the army, and then you have, just like the Roman army. Oh, this was also packed by Marella. Thank you, Marella, at Warlord Games. It's such a weird touch, and I'm sure that's like a QC thing, but that's kind of nice that it's like, hey, I'm helping. At least this is how I cope with the scale of this purchase. Is like, hey man, I'm putting that kid through college. So it's my money at work. So you get a huge pile of sprues again. You get the double holes, and then you get the sized ones for artillery, which there are none, and the elephants actually have their own base, so you don't have to worry about using this. So you can just set this up as like a diorama or whatever. And then you have 2 commander bases, so you get a giant pile of those. Hopefully that's enough to accommodate all your infantry. And then you have the unique decals for your Carthaginians, and all different kind of cool symbols, and also kind of the so this is the Allied decal sheet. So let's actually crack this open and see what okay, so that's the Okay, yeah, so this is the actual Carthaginian like sprue, so you kind of get all these cool designs that the designs look really good. It looks like, if you can see that through the shine, it looks like the individual decals are kind of cropped close, so you won't have a bunch of overhang. You won't have to do a bunch of tucking and hiding and whatever for the decals. And then, all right, you got a boatload of sprues. So let me do my best to first organize these into some manner of sanity. Oh, jeez. Oh, she's thick. All right. Here we go. All right. So we are going to set that box aside. And so you get this giant pile of sprues. So we are going to, let's start with our Libyan guys. So for these sprues, the Libyan spearmen are on the same sprue as the Spanish Scutari, and I feel like that's because Spain spent most of its time in Carthaginian control than it did in Roman control. Now that is the speculation of somebody that does not know the period as well as he probably should, especially if he's going to be investing in something this big. But that's never stopped me before. So, all right. So, we get that. We get that. Oh, okay. I'm going to hide those because those are the best part. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get 7 sprues of the Carthaginian infantry. So what you'll notice is you'll get these guys with these textured shields, and those guys are supposed to be Numidian skirmishers. And you guys, and then you get the actual spearmen, Carthaginian or Libyan, as the rules call them, spearmen, kind of armed as hoplites. And then you have the Iberian Scutari, or the Spanish Scutari, who were using the big scutum shields along with the Gladius. And then you have some Numidian skirmishing or light cavalry. And then you have Carthaginian commander and Libby Phoenician knights, or not knights, because that's not really horsemen. Basically rich Carthaginian citizens that were like, oh, I want to go abroad and I want to make money and get slaves and do all this economic stuff, but I don't want to fight as an infantryman because that sounds awful. So I'm just going to buy a bunch of horses and I'll be a horseman, because that was an option back in the day. So because Carthage didn't have its own kind of, I didn't say it didn't have its own army. It did. It could levy citizens at a pinch, but the citizens were not very good because they weren't very well equipped. And then you have some more of the Italian, Celtiberian peoples, like the Romans. So you get some more of those Cretan archers from Crete. You get light infantry. Now I've noticed, I'm not sure, I think this is probably just a faux pas with the way the box is designed, or with the way, because like, look, it's actually sitting proud to the thing, which means that it's going to stick out and get damaged. So surprisingly, the most damage that I've seen was from the Roman veletae. And probably what I'm going to do is just take like a piece of a paper clip or a staple and just do that, and like figure out how to chamfer the edge. And then you get Balearic slingers, and then you get the other kind of local infantry, or Celtic cavalry rather, as well as other light infantry. So again, and the plastic seems like, even though it's like good, it's good hard sturdy plastic, it looks like there's the spears are able to flex without breaking, which is encouraging. So the next thing you get is you get a bunch of galls. You get 1, 2, 3, 4. You get four things of galls, and each one of these makes 1 unit. So basically half a unit of Gallic people. So basically 2 to one of these, one of the green bases, and then you get 6 of those, kind of in 2 deep, like 3 abreast, 2 deep, and that's how you field these guys, because they're quote unquote barbarians. And then you get the skirmishing infantry. You get a commander on horseback. Looks really fancy, and let's see if I can. Looks really fancy and well defined. And then you have the standard bearer. And the standard bearer. Oh, look, he's got dudes' heads. And then he's got all sorts of crap hanging off his banner. So, and you get 4 of those, and that's your quote unquote barbarian contingent, which I'm sure we will see these as Warlord continues to progress and support the system. I hope to where these guys are actually going to start to appear as opponents to Caesar's legions as they go into Gaul and proceed to depopulate the entire place. So next, so I want to show something off real quick. So you know how these sprues have the little nubs that kind of like where the things go in sprue? I want to show you something really clever. I've seen this once before from another plastic manufacturer that I don't believe is around anymore. See that? It's like, what the hell? These guys, what sorcery is this? They plug together. They have like a little male and female connector to plug together. How clever is that? How neat is that? So, small technical wonder aside, because I am easily amused in that fashion. You get your elephants. You get 4 of them in total, 2 to an element. So elephant there, elephant there. You get the sides, front and back. Sides, front and back, and then the heads look like you can mix and match them on the bodies, because they're simply like plugs. So I'm betting it's actually really easy to create a lot of variety. Ooh, what's this? No, I probably wouldn't do that more aggressively, but that's actually fairly impressive. That has the tolerance of the plastic has that much give to it. So you have these guys with these big huge pikes, so they're going to be stabbing down at people as the elephant rolls by. And you have the guys that sit across the neck, the mahouts, and then you have javelin thrower along with 2 archers. I feel like this is sufficient variety to give you a lot of different look and play and feel for your elephants, so that you're not in the game of like, oh, everything looks exactly the same, because nobody likes it when everything looks exactly the same. That's stupid. So, beep. How clever is that? That's going to blow my mind. I like that. Especially with how delicate these are. That's actually really, really super clever. If I can get that, whatever sorcery they use, but whatever. So elephants, there you go. Right. So there's actually two little pegs. There we go. All right. See? There you go. Nice and safe. Then, like the Roman box set, you also get the Hail Caesar rulebook. And I'm going to go over this again for the benefit of the people that only want to watch this and don't want to watch the Roman one as well. Just because I know that can be obnoxious, where it's like, dude, I don't want to have to reference multiple of your videos. Get over yourself. So, for this, it's fairly straightforward. It's presented in very much the way that if you're a BattleTech fan like I am, you'll be familiar with, where it kind of postures itself as a toolbox. You know, take what you want, leave what you don't. And I think that's a great way to design a rule set. It's beautifully illustrated. The pictures are great. Lots of great movement examples, shooting examples, how units move, how they interact, what's disorder, you know, how the various different elements intersect with each other. Army lists. The army lists that you get in this book, you get list for the Romans, the Carthaginians, and then kind of a generic allies list, which encompasses the Celtiberians, the Iberian, the Spanish Scutari guys, the Gallic peoples, their horsemen, the Numidian infantry, and cavalry and whatnot. So you get a lot of play out of this box, because if you get both of these armies, if like I got the Hannibal, or I got the Scipio army as well, like I can steal some Gallic, I can steal some of these Gauls from Hannibal to play in my Scipio army one day, and then, you know, maybe I can dip into the Roman Iberian infantry pool, so I can expand a little bit more. And then the other side of this, the value proposition for these box sets. Dice. Something I didn't notice about these dice, they are blue. The dice in the Roman one is white, so you can tell which dice are whose. So, which I suppose is cool. But anywho, the unique value selling proposition for the Hannibal army is that you get a unique miniature of Hannibal Barca. They're going to do, and they actually have done, box sets with each containing like 5 famous commanders for Rome, 5 famous commanders for Carthage. This was packed by Maria. Thank you, Maria. And then it is in the Siocast stuff. Now, before I hear you say, "Oh, Siocast," I saw your BattleTech reviews. That shit. This is actually Warlord Games with this material. They're playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. Like, this is actually really high quality. You can kind of see there's like a little piece of flash to the belly, but that's going to be really easy to take. You can tell at this scale that he's got an eye patch. So this is him post when he literally was like, I'm going to lose my eye. Somebody just because of disease, cut it out before it infects my other one and blinds me. So like, he just did that. Not a whole lot of mold lines. I'm not seeing any air gaps or anything like that. So miniature looks fantastic. Highly recommend the Warlord stuff. Again, you look at what companies like Monster Fight Club are doing, where like sometimes their stuff is okay, and then other times it's like it looks like an absolute dog. And then you have Warlord Games, just like for the care and detail of a single 15 mil guy on a horse, exercise an incredible amount of care in manufacturing this guy. So I don't know what everybody else is doing. Clearly not the right thing. So that being said, so you get this pile of guys, you get this pile of guys, you get this, you get a rule book, you get decals, you get a base, you get a crap load of bases. So I got this for about $120 from Flipside Gaming on eBay. If you go to someplace like Michigan Toy Soldier, you can probably get a comparable discount on it. The retail is, I believe, 152 USD. I got it for like 120. If you go to MichiganToySoldier.com, you'll probably get it for like 130, 140. And if you're in Michigan, you can actually come pick it up because they have a pickup in-person option. So, man, if this doesn't represent a lot of value, I don't know. Because here's the thing. I've got these, so unless they do something like crazy, like something really interesting, I don't know that I'm going to need to buy any more miniatures for this system. Which is kind of like odd if you buy like the big miniatures, but like, or if you're running like some kind of a club game, then maybe I could see like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy XYZ amount of miniatures to help, you know, pad out numbers or whatever. But at the same time, like, damn, dude, I wish I had that many friends that I had that problem. And the other thing too is that, again, the way the bases are laid out, the way the miniatures are laid out, they're going to be good for any number of systems. They're going to be good for systems like Mortem Glorium, DBB, Art de la Guerre, I believe I pronounced that right. And it's all about how the miniatures are based, and this rule system and these miniatures give you a consistent way of basing and moving them. The scenarios in the rule book are a lot of fun. They're a great way for you to build up an army too, so you can say, okay, I'm going to build, you know, the Roman trivia army. Let's see if I can actually find that. Castulo. Let's see here. There we go. So, Battle of Trivia. So, which is basically like you have a river that you have to fight across, and then the Romans get like, this is basically like one sprue. Like each division is like one sprue of guys, and then the same thing for the so you get like, you build and paint 3 sprues of each guys, and all of a sudden, bam, you have the Battle of Trivia. You know, it's on a 6x4 board, or you know, whatever board size you want to play on, because guess what? It's a rule book, not a cop. So that is Hannibal Barca's Carthaginian army, as well as Scipio Africanus's Roman legions. It's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to, once things settle down for me personally, I am really looking forward to getting both of these armies slowly assembled and put on the table. So here's hoping. Take it easy, guys. Bye.